Kicking off his UFC 2024 season in big fashion on UFC 297. My man, Serhiy Sidey. Siri, how we doing? Happy holidays.
Yeah, buddy. Happy holidays to you too. I'm great, buddy. Yeah, just like I said, just finishing off fight camp right now, man. We got a week and a half of hard work left, and then we just cut the weight, bro, and then get to perform, which I'm so excited for.
I mean, dude, it's a massive debut. UFC 297 fighting in front of that home crowd. Like, how good does all that feel?
Dude, it's a dream come true, honestly. It really is. It's something I've been visualizing for a very, very long time. I didn't think I'm gonna get it that fast in my UFC career, but man, am I ever excited, man, to make my debut in my hometown. That is a dream come true, I'm sure, for most athletes. And the fact that I got the opportunity, I'm just so grateful for it.
I am confused though, because I don't know. I got to ask you, like, why are you taking on Tavares again? How did this rematch come to be?
Well, I guess everybody's conception after that fight was that it was an early stoppage. Like I know, man, I know, and it's okay though because guess what? I got this dude's number. I got this dude's number. I beat him in his own game, right? Like I beat him with the hands. His number one tool. I beat him with that tool, and I have so many more tools that I want to unleash on this guy. So you know what? It all worked out at the end for me, man. Again, when that happened, bro, I knew I had the fight finished. Like I'm the guy looking over top of him. I can see where his eyes are at. I can see his body language, right? No one else can tell. But I knew where that fight was going. I'm sure he knew where that fight was going. But hey, we're gonna do it again, and this time there's gonna be no doubt.
So, like, safe to say, more confident going into the rematch than you were the first meeting?
Of course, bro. I'm always understand that my opponents are threats and I treat them as, world beaters and I treat them as absolute killers and I'm not showing up any cockier or anything like that. But I've been very successful in my career with rematch fights. I'm 2-0 with my rematches. And both rematches I finished faster the second time around. And I just believe because I get their timing, I see their skills, I see their speed, I see what they're gonna bring to the table, and then I make the adjustments, and that's why those fights end quicker the second time around.
And do you like take a different approach this time? Do you still think you can beat him in the hands, like without giving too much away? Kind of what's your game plan going in, or what do you expect at least?
I didn't get to show a lot of the tools that I wanted to show in that last fight. We had a lot of different ways of winning this fight. Again, I just think overall I just have much more tools than this man. But yeah, we definitely made our adjustments, added things in. Just from the small amount of time he had in that fight, I made my adjustments. And yeah, I'm just excited to show off all the weapons, man. Like I just again I could see this fight going in a bunch of different ways, and I can see my hand game raised in a multitude of different finishes.
And then, dude, training camp's been cool keeping up with you on Instagram just because, you're at the normal spot at Burlington and then you've been at Niagara Top Team too. So I guess, like, overall, how's camp been? I know it's finishing up.
Camp's been amazing, brother. I'm just so grateful for my coaches and my training partners, dude. Like, bro, every time I come to sparring, I come to wrestling practice, I have butterflies in my stomach because I know I'm about to get hard fucking rounds.
Yeah.
Everybody pushes me to the limit, man, and I only appreciate that, man. I have tough rounds, I give my whoopings out, but I also get take my whoopings as well. And like I love it, man, because it builds that confidence for me, man. Because I know I'm training with guys and I'm giving it my all every single day. Like I have to be physically, mentally, spiritually on every single day. And yeah, training's been great because of that, brother.
And then I see, like, you've been in the gym with Jazzy and Malott a little bit. So, like, how is it training with several different people in the same gym who are on the same card? Like, I imagine that's almost like a level up.
Yes, and the energy is contagious, man. The energy is very, very contagious. We have a lot of people gearing up for a lot of big fights, and having them in the room, feeling the energy, feeling the environment, man. Like it's very, very contagious. It makes me, even step up my game more.
And then who's going to be with you in your corner for this one?
Yeah, for this fight, I'm gonna have my coaches, Lyndon Whitlock, Paul Bear. They've been with me for the last, you know, I don't even know how long, man. Since my amateur days, these guys have been with me. But then, which is cool because I get three corners now. I get my coach Gavin Hessen, who's actually the first coach that ever like saw something in me when I was like 16, man. When I was like this little young, unconfident kid. I literally remember the moment it happened. I was in the bathroom at BTC, tap out at the time, and I'm just kind of changing, minding my own business, being shy. And then this dude comes in and he's just like tatted up, absolute savage, and like he just introduced himself to me and he just asked to work with me. And I was like, me? Like I was confused, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, really me? Like, oh, okay, sure. And he's one of those guys, he's helped my boxing. Like I train with him consistently. He's my main boxing coach, and but he's the first person who believed in me. And now, we're riding into the UFC in Toronto, like 11 years later since meeting him, which is absolutely insane.
That's great, man. That's awesome stuff. How it all comes like full circle, you know?
Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, it's the universe works in strange ways, man, and it really does.
And then, dude, like this is obviously, I mean, I don't know about biggest fight. I don't know where you rank it there, but like in terms of the caliber, right? On a UFC pay-per-view, sold out Canada crowd, like biggest crowd and atmosphere you're gonna be in so far in your young career. So like I know that excites you, but does that add any extra level of like nerves or pressure, or you're just like cloud nine ready to go?
Man, ever since I was a kid, I've always, I don't know why, but I've always just wanted to be a performer. Like before I even started fighting, man, like I used to be like, damn, bro, I wish I could sing because I'd just be a singer, bro, and perform in front of people. But that wasn't my talent.
Yeah.
So I found fighting, but I've always wanted to be a performer. For some reason, like the more crowd there was, the more audience, the more eyes, the better I perform. I just like soak up that energy and I soak up all that and it just I use it in a positive way. And I really do attribute that, man, to like my mindfulness practice that I've been following for lots of years now and all the books I've been reading about mental performance and just understanding how to reframe my thoughts and my emotions and use them in positive ways, right? And I think that this energy, man, it's gonna go to my left hand, it's gonna go to my right hand, it's gonna go to both my shins, and I'm going to be able to use that energy, man, in a very positive way. It excites me, man. Honestly, like even before the Contender Series fight, I remember like having moments of being nervous, but
Yeah.
I'm not feeling nervous right now, man. I'm feeling excited, and anytime I do feel that nervousness, I can reframe that into excitement really, really quickly.
That's awesome, man. And do you mind if I give you a small piece of advice, not as a fighter, but just as a
Yes, of
person?
course.
So this past year, I was lucky enough to cover three UFC pay-per-views, right? And my first one especially, but each of them, dude, like flew by. Like you go to media day, weigh-in ceremonials, fight night, and then you blink and it's over. Like it's insane. So I imagine as a fighter, it's gonna fly by that much quicker. So my advice is close your eyes a little bit, enjoy it, man. Like perfect scenario, Canada pay-per-view. Like, bro, just take that in and really fucking enjoy it because it's gonna be an awesome week. I promise you.
Bro, I love how you say that because that's something I try to remind myself of all the time. I literally was talking to somebody a couple hours before you, bro, and he asked me, like when Bruce Buffer calls your name and like what's going to be going through your head, and I just said I'm going to close my eyes, I'm going to take a deep breath, I'm going to enjoy the moment, bro.
Yeah, man.
I think that's great advice, brother, and that's something that I think is very important because one day we're fucking 80 years old, bro, and we're looking back in our lives, and we want to make sure that we, soaked in every ounce of that moment.
And you only get one first. So yeah, man. Take it in, dude. But mad excited for all you guys up in Canada. It's gonna be a great show. And then Siri, man, after this win, like what's next? Obviously very young in the year. You got a timeline for return or anything?
My goal is to fight 3 times, man. 3 times. I think that's a good active amount of time for me to fight, as well as skill development between fights, man. Because I'm still young, and I still have a lot to learn, and I don't even think I'm close to my peak or my prime. So I think 3 fights this next upcoming year will be amazing for me. And again, dude, I don't fuck around after camp, man. I'm back in the gym next week, working on the things I need to work on, developing my jujitsu. I'm going to jump into more grappling tournaments. I'm going to work on more of that, man. I just want to stay active, stay busy, get better. And every time I show up into the cage, I'm a different kind of athlete, different kind of fighter.
When I ask this, I'm not asking you to call anyone out, but your UFC debut, so new, like, are there names that interest you in terms of like, man, I would love to fight them someday? Like, ooh, that could be a good fight soon. Like, again, not calling anyone out, but any names specifically that really turn you on?
Nobody outside of the top 5 or 10, brother. Like, to be honest, man, like, I don't even know some of the guys like up in the like that are kind of in my level,
Sure.
bro. But
Yeah.
I'm looking at the the super fights that one day I would love to fight. I would love to fight the Sean O'Malley. I would love to fight Cheeto Vera. I would love to fight Corey Sandhagen. And guess what? I fucking love these guys. I like their styles, and it just excites me because I want to like test myself. I want to see where I stand in this, you know. So those are the guys I'm aiming for, man. And I'm just taking it one fight at a time, you know. But eventually, man, we're gonna have a conversation in a few years, and it'll be be us fighting, getting ready to fight one of these guys, bro. And that's the goal.
Hell yeah, man. It'll be on ESPN too. I'll have that platform by then.
Beautiful.
So, I don't, is this your first interview of the year?
No, I've had a few now.
Ah, it's all right. I thought it was that special. But regardless, early interview of the year, like 3 days into 2024. I guess like this time next year, early 2025, end of the year, where do you want to be? What goals do you have for yourself this year?
Yeah, man, this year has have three successful wins, bro. Three successful, great performances, and just keep like build my brand. You know, like that's another thing I obviously want to focus on. But again, none of that shit matters if I'm not winning fights, right? So it's about skill development, man, getting better. And yeah, by this time next year, man, I'm 3 fights in, and I'm starting to look at the top 15 and shit, and like trying to get into that.
Love it, man. And then obviously you're going to get your chance after the fight to spit a little bit and talk to your home crowd in Canada. But before then, for the people watching this interview and the fans that are checking you out ahead of fight week, anything you'd like to say to everyone? If so, take it away.
Yeah, I just want all the Canadian fans, guys, like support this event, right? Like Canadian MMA is on the come up. After this Vancouver card, we went 5-0. You know, it really blew up, built confidence, and now we're here in Toronto, man. So, you know, just let's get that support going. There's so many killers that deserve to be in the big show, man, from this area. And I'm just excited. I think if we just keep putting these Canadian guys, us, me, Malott, Jazz, we keep putting in the work, we keep finishing these fights. Eventually, we're gonna have much more shows in Canada, and you know, MMA will be a much bigger sport in our country here.
You said it best, man. UFC 297 is a night for Canada, but maybe more importantly, it's a night for all the fans because it's going to be a hell of a card. Serhiy Sidey, thank you so much, my man. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tune in January 20th, ESPN Plus, and pay-per-view for UFC 297. And we'll talk after that win, yeah?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jake, man. Have a great day.